Daily Broadside, day 516. I was talking to a friend of mine just earlier this morning, a little after lunch. I guess it wasn't really this morning. It was earlier after lunch. It was early afternoon. And she's been in a quagmire all summer because she's trying to sublease the apartment that her daughter was going to live in at college. She's at a college now near the beach. So she's been desperately trying to find somebody so that she doesn't have to pay two rents every month for the next year. And okay, cool. Obviously, that would suck. But I told her, I was like, so what happens if you don't get this sublet? And she finally got it sublet like in the last day. So she doesn't have, so she's good. She's out. She's free and clear. But I was like, I said, so theoretically, if you didn't get this subleased, right, you would just be able to go down there and you just have a place to stay at the beach whenever you wanted to. And she's like, yeah, I guess. I guess so. Because it's one of these apartments where, like, you go in, you've got the communal living room, kitchen, and then each person, the three rooms, three or four, I think it's four. There are three or four rooms, each have their own key. So you can't get in. Because I asked her, I was like, so are those girls going to be like, oh, your daughter's not here, so we're just going to turn that into, like, our smoke room or, like, just our party, our TV room or whatever? And she's like, no, they can't get in there because they don't have the key to it. I have the key. Or, the office would give you the key. I'm like, okay. I said, so you revisiting, I said, you have basically a free place to stay at the beach. Not really free. I mean, you're paying for it, but you have an open, available space. It's like you have a timeshare for the next 52 weeks. She's like, yeah, theoretically. And I thought to myself, I was like, that could get really weird. I was like, because pretend that's me, right? And I got a daughter, and the daughter decides she wants to live somewhere else. So she goes and finds another apartment, and I don't get the other one subleased in time. Now, regardless of how silly this is, because I'd be like, you don't get to go anywhere else until you're free and clear of this one. But nevertheless, let's say this happens, right? I would then be able to live with three other girls, and they could do nothing to stop it, best I can tell. And I would just pop in, and let's say I don't even meet them, right? They don't know me or whatever. They just know that one of their roommates didn't sublease their apartment and they won't be here this year. So there's only three of them in the apartment and all. Okay, cool. So I come in one night about 9:00 on a Friday because I'm gonna spend the weekend at the beach. I pop in, I key in. I've gotten the key from the office already, and I go in. I let myself into my room. Of course, there's no furniture, so I'll be sleeping on the floor. What's that dude, Bear Grylls or something, Bear Grylson, down at the beach, and these girls are freaked out, because they're walking around with like towels on their head, and it's kind of awkward. And I'm like, hey, how you doing? I'm Sandy's dad, and they're like, why are you here? I'm like, because I'm paying blah 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 however much money for this damn place, and I'm going surfing tomorrow. That's why. And then we're going fishing for crappie or whatever the hell's in the ocean that you stick a hook in. And all that, and that would just be really weird, and there's nothing they could really do about it. And they'd call their parents, and they'd be like, hey, there's like a strange man living in Sandy's room. And they're like, well, who is it? I'm calling the police. The police would get there, I'd be like, here's my lease, I live here. Theoretically, I live here. That would just be an odd situation. That would be kind of a fun thing to do as like a social experiment to just kind of push the bounds of what's accepted and what's not, Now, that said, I would never do that because that would be very awkward for a couple of young females. But it does bring up an interesting theory as to, what you could do. When Sonic came to North Carolina, I remember I was in college when they started popping up around here. And I don't know how long they've been around. I'm sure they came from somewhere else in this country. And originally they were, car hops. They skated out to your car. And I saw a video just the other day of somebody bringing a whole tray of food out on roller skates. And they just proceeded to bust their ass and just throw food all over the place. I'm sure a lot of y'all have seen it. It looked like it was a pretty viral video. It had a lot of views, as it were. And I'm thinking to myself, man, that's cool and all. It's a kitschy little, gimmick, I guess, that this restaurant came up with. But more importantly, I don't know how risk management at the Sonic Corporation is like, yeah, let's put people on, fast moving wheels and have curbs involved and concrete to land on. and moving cars and already spilled food. There's nothing like roller skating through some spilled chili or something that's in the parking lot or whatever, because you're eating out of your car window. And then you blow out your ACL, and I mean, the workers' comp has got to be insane for that place, just because the insurance companies are going to be like, now, how many employees do you have? Okay, 6. Okay, all right. And how many square footage is it? Okay, and do you have anybody that will be working around hot oil or ovens? You do? Okay, all right. And lastly, is anybody going to be on wheels? I mean, like, yeah, and when they say yes, it's like your insurance company finding out that you have, like, you train pit bulls to fight. Like, they're probably going to jack your rates up. So, I don't know, I find that weird. But more importantly, I feel like if I'm an employee, if I'm a car hop at the what do you call it? The Sonic restaurant, the Sonic Drive-In, where the hell that place is called. It's not just Sonic, it's Sonic something. Anyway, and I'm working there, right? And you don't have to be a roller skater, right? You can just deliver the food, right? And then my buddy, Randy over here is like all gung-ho to be a car hop, and he's like bought like some inline skates or some crap, and I'm over here like, we're in the back dressing room getting ready like strippers for our shift, and I'm like, what are you doing, And he's like, I'm going to be a car. I'm skating, man. It's so much more efficient. And I'm like, okay. And I feel like if Randy and I had cars next to each other, or maybe he had a customer on one side of the building and I had one on the other side in the exact same spot on each side of the building, right? I feel like if he's faster, and I'm not saying he is, I feel like bipedal will still be fine. I feel like if he's faster, he's going to deliver their food about 4.5 seconds quicker than I'm going to get there. And I'm not going to look like an idiot, some uncoordinated baby giraffe on roller skates that's just taking its first steps for the first time. I just feel like it's just a dumb thing to do. A dumb way to be, a dumb manner to serve food. You know what I mean? It's just strange. It's strange to me. I don't understand it, and I'd love for somebody to explain it better. I think you get paid more, though, for the roller skates, which further is a bigger problem, because if Sally, the new employee, is like, oh, so it's $14.50 per hour, but if you want to roller skate, it's $15.72 an hour, and you're like, okay, strap them on, Big Daddy. And this person has, and I'm like, what is the training regiment before they just let you skate? You just say, now, have you ever skated before? And you're like, yes. And all they're seeing is like $1.23 more an hour or whatever. I don't think that's a recipe for whatever the opposite of disaster is. That's not going to be a recipe for success. That's what it is. So that's kind of silly. So you would get people that, I can drive a stick. The next thing you know, you're putting a clutch in the car, right? That kind of thing. So anyway, and I'm amazed at how silicone doesn't melt. Silicone is an amazing object, right? And there was I saw this ad for this little kitchen gadget that goes on the front. It like wraps around the front of the grills that, the racks, I guess you call it, in the oven, right, that you put the food on. And you just put this liner of silicone along the front so you don't burn your hands when you stick a tray into the oven. If you're burning your hands regularly on an oven, first of all, you deserve to have your hands burned. But secondly, you shouldn't be cooking, okay? And lastly, I would like to say that I am contemplating getting an armpit tattoo, like completely, just the whole armpit. I haven't decided what, I just haven't decided what, but I'm trying to decide if it's something I want to do, because the problem lies that it's almost like a winter tattoo, because apparently to get it to heal, you can't use any kind of deodorant. And I use I don't use commercial deodorant anywhere. I'm like a Dr. Squatch guy. I like the more organic stuff. I like paying $13 for a thing of deodorant, but nevertheless, it makes me feel better because it doesn't have all that zinc and all the chemicals and all that bull S in it. But I can't really go for like 6 to 10 weeks without using deodorant on one arm. That would be kind of odd. So my question to you is, do people move to the Arctic to get armpit tattoos before they heal? Or do they just work from home in an air-conditioned building? Because I'm out in the world, man. I got to go. I got stuff to do, people to see, things to invent, And I can't be just, smelling from high heaven from my left side or right. I haven't decided which arm, but probably my right, but nevertheless, it could be my left. I don't know. I haven't decided. So I'm still trying to mull that over. Mull, like Martin Mull, from Mr. Mom with Terry Garr back when she was hot, and Michael Keaton in his first really funny role. Honey, if you call and I don't answer, I'll be at the gym or the gun club. Is it the gym or the gun club? One or the other. Anyway, y'all have a great Friday. Giddy.